Oh, he's so close. Maybe we could just interrupt his special. Okay, maybe not. Each week, I get the free game from the Epic Game Store. I have over 400 titles, and until the start of the series, I played less than half. A dozen. I've stopped calling myself a gamer and started calling myself a collector. Now, I may never get through my back catalogue, but I can't stop it getting worse. Join me as each week I play through the latest giveaways, and maybe we find some gems along the way. This week's first game was I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Originally released in 1995, this point-and-click horror game is based on Harlan Ellison's 1967 short story of the same name. The story centers around a sadistic, sentient supercomputer known as Allied Master Computer, or AM for short.
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44...
After wiping out almost all of humanity, AM has spent the last 109 years keeping the only 5 remaining humans alive for one reason: to torture them.
For 109 years, I've kept you alive and tortured you. And for 109 years, each of you has wondered, why? Why me? Why me?
Each survivor has a dark past. There's Gorster, a man consumed by guilt after sending his wife to a mental asylum. Benny, a ruthless military officer who murdered members of his own unit for failing to meet his impossible standards, and may have even eaten them. Ellen, an engineer whose greatest crime seems to be existing in a man's world.
Think about the yellow box, Ellen. Remember the pain?
Ted, a manipulative con artist who seduced wealthy women for their money. And finally, Nimdok, an ex-Nazi physician. Need I say more?
How are things in the pastry core, Nimdok? Tell me again how you saw the smoke from the furnaces and you thought they might be roasting chickens.
After the introductions, you were given the chance to select one of the 5 victims to be thrown into AM's latest game. A simulation specifically designed to give the character the illusion of a release from their eternal torment.
A game of rats and lice, the Black Death. A game of speared eyeballs and dripping guts and the smell of rotting gardenias.
I started with Benny. After being shown a staircase with a village in the distance, I was quickly told that Benny had not eaten in months, and knew I needed to find food.
I haven't eaten for months. The smell of food cooking nearby only makes it hurt worse.
After finding a pear and attempting to eat it, I discovered that AM had played yet another cruel trick on our protagonist. Benny was unable to chew without his mouth bleeding.
Hurts! Hurts! Hurts!
After finding a solution to that problem, I learned the village holds a daily lottery to choose a human sacrifice to appease AM.
Where is your mother?
She go to altar to help choose Am's sacrifice.
I tried to explore more of the map. I discovered the scenario had exactly 6 scenes. The staircase, which became uninteractive after the introduction to the scene, the trees immediately after that, the village, the pear tree, a sacrificial totem, and a graveyard with only the graves of Benny's former military unit.
This graveyard gives me the creeps.
After watching a sacrifice and being offered the opportunity to request to eat the victim instead, I waited until the next sacrifice and was then sacrificed myself as ordered by AM.
The villagers are going to hold another lottery. I wonder who the unlucky sap will be this time.
I am the great and powerful. Dispense with the lottery. For his inaction, I choose the newcomer as today's sacrifice. Try that.
Abruptly ending Benny's story. So I moved on to Gorster. This scene involved waking up in a derelict Zeppelin.
What hellhole did that godless machine put me in this time?
I found a knife, a fork, a cookbook, and some sheets. After finding a gangway with access to the airbags of the Zeppelin, I decided to cut them, as I knew Gorrister was suicidal, and this seemed like the most obvious solution to the scenario.
I just dull my knife.
An alarm immediately started blaring, and a minute or two later the Zeppelin crashed. It was at this point AM decided to intervene and pull Gorrister out of this simulation before he was able to achieve that release he had been chasing for over a century. This game is unmistakably a product of 1995. It isn't trying to look retro, it simply is. There is not a lot of content by today's standards, but there is still more than enough to keep you occupied for a good day. The visuals have definitely aged, but the voice acting holds up surprisingly well, and the story remains genuinely unsettling. In fact, in an age where AI is becoming so prevalent in everyday life, it may hit harder now than it did 30 years ago. I give this game a 4 out of 10.
We're so much alike. We enjoy the same pleasures, mein good brother.
The other game this week was a complete change of pace. While the first game was dark, depressing and existential, River City Girls 2 is bright, colourful and completely ridiculous. From what I can tell, the story follows a group of high school friends who spend most of their time beating up the Yakuza simply because they can. After a quick comic book style recap of the first game, we learn our heroes are running late for class. The opening section is really just a tutorial teaching you the basics like jumping, attacking, blocking and parrying. But as soon as you make it to the classroom,
Ms. Megumi!
What were you children doing out of class? Did you not hear the bell?
No, but that's probably because we got here after it rained.
you are immediately expelled and launched out the second story window.
Don't you mean show us the door?
Nope.
Turns out the school had been taken over by the same crime syndicate you defeated in the first game. Rather than dealing with that immediately, the crew spends the next 2 months sitting on the couch playing video games. They then discover a sequel to their favourite video game has just been released, and obviously, sequels are always better than the original.
And here we are still playing the original like a pair of chumps!
Yeah, everyone knows that sequels are always better.
So your first real objective is to head to the mall to buy a copy, and it's the kind of logic that somehow fits perfectly with the rest of the game. Once you hit the streets, there's a fight waiting on every corner.
Consider our fight begun!
What did I do?
You'll be throwing punches at school bullies, mafia thugs, cheerleaders, security guards, businessmen, street wrestlers. Honestly, if someone exists in this city, they're probably looking for a fight. If you happen to get knocked out, the game is surprisingly forgiving. You can either respawn back at your safe house without any real penalty, or continue from the latest checkpoint with full health. So there's very little frustration if you lose. The whole game absolutely nails that classic Super Nintendo beat-em-up feel. The chunky pixel art, the sprite animations, the attacks that fully commit once you press the button, the random weapons lying around, everything from baseball bats to park benches, it all feels like it could have been released in the early 90s. And honestly, it's just fun. There's plenty of collectibles to hunt down, upgrades to unlock, and enough content here to keep you busy for quite a while. The comic book presentation of cutscenes gives the game a lot of personality, although the combat can get pretty stale pretty quickly. I did encounter an issue where I had unlocked a move that I was simply unable to perform. I'm not sure whether I was missing something or if it was a bug, but it was frustrating. Overall, I had a surprisingly good time with River City Girls 2. I give it a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, you might be interested to know that I've started streaming my playthroughs, at least for now. Check the description for the Discord channel. Otherwise, please like and subscribe to be notified of next week's reviews of Nova Lands and Tattoo Tycoon. Or if you played either of these titles yourself, drop a comment and let me know your thoughts.